Hi everybody and welcome to checkpoint number 3. So you are almost done with this beginner's guitar course, and I think it's a good point in time that you and I have a little discussion now. Rather than going back and recap what we have learned so far, I want to spend a couple of minutes on making sure that you are still motivated and you're still having, and that's very, very important, fun playing the guitar. Now, I know based on my experience in teaching guitar students that around that point in time where you are right now, people face some hurdles when it comes to still being motivated and practicing on a regular basis. So people tend to drop off or don't take the practicing part as serious anymore. And it's very important that you now stick to it, even though that might mean that you have to force yourself sticking to your daily practicing routine. But this, where you are right now, it's a very, very critical point. This basically decides whether you are making it all the way to the end, and if you do so, I guarantee you have all the tools you need to then venture off from there and go into any direction you want. But it is important that you now, more than ever, continue with your practicing. Now, speaking of practicing, I know it may sound a little bit esoteric right now, but you know what? Practicing, yes, it has a lot to do with repetition, with doing the same thing over and over until you get it right. But after all, it's also playing the instrument. And if you love the instrument, if you love guitar music, then practicing is basically a form of making guitar music. And if that's something you love, well, then you probably love practicing. It might sound a little bit strange, but my point is, look, you're playing the guitar. You should get some fun out of that. And with that being said, you are not limited to the exercises that I outlined in the worksheets. Play around with the guitar. Grab another book. Go on YouTube. See what they have available when it comes to practicing or playing easy guitar songs. Play around with your guitar. Come up with something new. I mean, the sky is really the limit. So again, very important right now, stick to it. If there's something that when you look back on the course and on the things that we learned in this course that you don't get, and there's usually one or two things when I look at my guitar students, going back in time a little bit, there's usually one or two things where they struggle. Let's say that picking pattern. They have a little bit of an issue with that picking, and they didn't practice as much as they should. You know what? Now it's a good point in time to spend that extra week and maybe do these things, work on the stuff where you're struggling with. And that will make sure that you really get that well-rounded picture and those well-rounded results that I want to deliver for you when you are done with this course. So before you move on, just make sure that what we have covered so far up until today is clear to you, that you understand it, and you understand how to do it on your guitar technically. And then once you're at that point, continue with the course. But again, take a week, take 2 weeks. It doesn't really matter. Go over the old materials. Reach out to me if you have questions. That's very important. I will try to make everything possible and get back to you in a timely fashion. But it's very important that you and I are on the same page before we move on. Okay, so now moving forward, we only have a few more lessons left. There are a couple of more challenges, but there are also a few more songs based on chords that you already know, or that will incorporate a couple of few more chords that we still have to learn, which are relatively easy. They're not as hard as some of the stuff that we have covered in the previous lesson. So I look forward to the remainder of this course. It's only a little bit more until you are at lesson number 25, which is the last lesson. So stick to it, keep up the practice, and I will see you in the next lesson. Bye bye.